and then I need to give this user account permissions or the ability to go and do the operation for, create. I will post this code onto my GitHub, and I'll put some links in the description to this later on if you want to go and check it out and download it yourself. So you're saying there are really 10 different ways that I can actually go and create users in Entra. That seems a bit ridiculous. I mean, there's probably more, but people aren't really going to watch a video of more than 10. I mean, if you've seen the attention span of the average person today in 2025, so let's stick with 10 for the moment and see how it goes. Why are there so many? I'm not entirely sure, but this is Microsoft talking about. This is a multi-trillion-dollar company. It's crazy big. There's multiple instances of them developing the same thing multiple different times in the same organization without them knowing about it. What? Okay, so have you heard of the Microsoft kin? No. Well, back in 2010, Microsoft were making smartphones. I mean, they were making smartphones before that with the Pocket PC, but that doesn't really count. Modern kind of smartphones. And they were developing this thing called the Microsoft kin, which was a kind of a little mini BlackBerry thing, kind of targeted towards teenagers. They messed up the launch greatly, but it also launched at exactly the same time as Windows Phone. So you kind of had that Spider-Man meme going on, where you've got a Windows Phone made by Microsoft and looking at another Windows Phone made by Microsoft. One of them had to go, and that was the kin. Some people say with Microsoft Kin 1, the very first one, they only sold about 500. Some people say they sold about 10,000, but this is the era of the iPhone 4, and you have to remember the iPhone 4 sold 1.7 million in 3 days. So massive failure. They killed it, couple of $1 billion down the drain, but for Microsoft, couple of $1 billion, chump change really. So is this kind of thing regular? More often than you'd think. Okay, well I suppose we better just stick with 10. Let's get on with the video. Yeah, let's get on with the video. That's what we're here for. Let's get on with the video. Into number 1. So number 1, we're going to go straight across to portal.azure.com. And over here in portal.azure.com, into Microsoft Entra ID, into users, and just hit new user. We'll go to create new user from here, and we'll use the user principal name of user1 so we can keep track of these, and the display name of user1. Let's go to properties. Remember here on the properties, you don't need to fill in anything apart from this usage location. If you don't fill in your usage location, then things like multi-factor authentication, self-service password resets, licensing, that's just not going to work. So yeah, create, there we go. There's number 1 with portal.azure.com. Okay, number 2, we're going to go to entra.microsoft.com, another portal to do this in. Over here, underneath Entra ID, I will go to users, and I have the same interface as before. So we go back to new user and create new user, and we'll put in a user 2. We'll give a display name of user 2. Let's go and review and create that and create. There we go. I have a user 2. I think that was very easy. Thank you, Microsoft. Submit feedback, refresh, and we have a user 1 and a user 2. So number 3, if you're thinking at this point it's all portals, it's not. There's some more technical stuff coming in a bit. Stick around. We've got admin.microsoft.com for your Microsoft 365 admins. This is still Entra ID underneath the hood. So let's go to add user down here on users, and let's go and use our display name of user 3 and username of user 3. We're going to automatically create a password. That's fine. We're not going to assign any licenses to this user, but notice here, interestingly, it forces you to actually select a location. As I mentioned before, you need that to be able to assign licenses. Let's go to next on that one, next on that one, finish adding, and we have user 3. So for user 4, we have this thing called the Graph API. Okay, this is an entry point where we can communicate to underneath our Entra ID system. Now, each of those 3 portals that we just looked at, so that was portal.azure.com, and that was entra.microsoft.com, and also admin.microsoft.com. Each of those are actually going through this Graph API to be able to configure the Entra ID system underneath and create those users. So what about if we could communicate directly to the Graph API? Well, why don't we do that with code? Okay. And if we're going to do that with code, let's go and use Python to do this. Now, to get some Python code to go and create a user inside our Entra ID system, one of the first things I actually need to do is create something called an app registration. Basically, I need to create an app registration, which is kind of like a user account anyway, but it's a user account for this Python script down here. And then I need to give this user account permissions or the ability to go and do the operation for, create. Can't draw, let's get rid of that. And let's write that again. Do things like create on Entra ID. So let's go and check that out, and let's go and actually run this. So over here inside VS Code, I have a lovely script called create_user.py. I will post this code onto my GitHub, and I'll put some links in the description to this later on if you want to go and check it out and download it yourself. What this is going to do is it's going to do things like create a password for a user, and it's also going to allow me to actually insert things like the display name and the password profile and things like that. More importantly, what this is going to do is it's going to actually use the Microsoft Graph API to send that information in programmatically. And when I go and run this create_user.py, what I can do is I can use this funky command down here, which is using our UPNs and using our usage locations, which is just the two default things we need to actually add here to make a user. So we do need to do a little bit of jiggery pokery in here inside Entra before this script is going to work. We need to be able to give this script authentication, okay? So back here in Entra ID, what I need to do is I need to go into app registrations, and I need to create a new application registration for this script. I'm just going to call it Python user create, okay? So let's go and create that and register it. We only need it to be applied to a single tenant, so the default there is fine. Now what I need to do is link that script to that application registration. I need this client ID, this tenant ID. Okay, so let's go and grab my client ID, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over here into the environment, and I'm going to pop this client ID in here. Okay. Now I'm going to pop back over here. We're going to go to application tenant ID. We're going to go and grab that, and we're going to pop this here inside that tenant ID at the top there. Okay. Now these are kind of like your username. I need to have a password, which is going to be a new secret for this. So I'm going to create a new secret. I'm going to call this secret. I'm going to click add on there, and we're going to grab the value of this secret here. Okay, so we're going to grab that now. We're going to pop back over here into client secret. These are all the environment variables that my script here is actually going to call. This is kind of like my username and password and where that's going to be run. Now that's all complete, I can save this. I can pop back into my terminal down here, pop back into that code there just to have a look. And what I can do now is I can go and create a user. So I could use user 3, sorry, we're on user 4 now. And if I do this, I am going to get an error, the error 403 forbidden, because I need to give it some permissions to be able to perform that operation. But since we've got 403 forbidden, we know that the actual connection is there, so that's all fine. Let's go into API permissions down here, and let's go and add a permission. We need to go and add in a Microsoft Graph permission, and we need to go add in an application permission, because our Python script is an application. What we need is we need user, where are we? User dot, filter it for me please, thank you. We need user dot read write all, allowing it to actually write and create accounts as well. We also need to go and grant admin consent there for the entire tenant. And that should be enough. This might take a few seconds to actually apply. So we're going to refresh that a couple of times just to give it a bit of a kick. And let's go back into our script and go and attempt to rerun our user. Awesome, users are created. It's even given me a secured password. Great, let's go back and check that. Let's pop over back to the portal. Let's pop into users and let's go and have a look. There's my user 4. So that's 4, on to 5. Okay, number 5, we're going to go and do this now through PowerShell, and we're going to go and use the new Graph API module. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to install this module, Microsoft.graph, and wait for that to actually execute on my system here. Okay, so now I'm going to connect to the Microsoft Graph, the MG graph down here, and I'm going to sign in with my account. Awesome. Signed in by delegated access. We can now actually go and create a user account through here. So what we need is an account profile that looks a little bit like this, New-MgUser, and we're just going to take my tenant down here. I'm just going to change this around for the user principal name, and we're going to use my domain there. The password will be fine at the moment. Let's go and paste that in and run it. Asking me to sign in again. It's done. Awesome. So we can now go back over here. We can pop up to users. And we can have a look at user 5. So that's 5. On to number 6. Okay, so on to number 6 and the PowerShell command. Let's go over into the Cloud Shell here inside our environment. If you don't know how to get to the Cloud Shell, it's this button right up here. You can actually switch to Bash, but this is actually going to work in PowerShell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the command New-AzUser. I'm going to run this command. Whoops. Not New-AzUser, New-AzADUser as our next command. We're going to create a user 6. We're going to give a mail nickname of user 6, and we're going to give a user principal name of user 6 at one of my valid domains. That has to be a valid domain, otherwise this will crash. Let's give it a password. This again is just a temporary password, and we have got created down here a user 6 account. Wonderful. Now, on to number 7. Okay, on to number 7, we're going to do some bulk create. So let's come back over here into the Azure portal, and let's go to bulk operations, and we'll go to bulk create down here. If we go to bulk create, we're given with an option to download a CSV template. Let's go and grab that CSV template. We will need this CSV template to make this all work. So let's put a name in here for user 7. Let's go put a username in for user 7 at my domain. We'll change that password over to something like a default Microsoft-y type password. If you've done Microsoft courses before, you'll probably have seen that. And department, usage, location, street address, city, office phone number. We can just leave everything else as it is at the moment. Okay, so let's re-upload that file now. Hit submit. And this will take a couple of minutes for Azure to receive that CSV file, process it, and create our next user. Okay, that's now succeeded, as we can see up here. And if I close this down, give this a nice little refresh, we should find there's user 7. So let's get on to number 8. Okay, for number 8, we're not going to actually directly create. We're going to invite our user 8. We're going to go to new user. We're going to go to invite external user, and we're going to put in an email address of an external user at gmail.com or whoever else it might be. This is going to send an invite email to that user, and they can click on the invite email and actually create an account. Now, these invite emails look a little bit like this. Once we click that link, we've got our sign-in page, and we can sign in with our Microsoft account email. I'm just going to send a notification to that. I've got an authenticator app for this. And we're not going to stay signed in down here, and that should have created us a invited account. So let's go back to my invite external user page down here. Let's go back into Entra ID, and let's go back into users, and let's go and refresh. And if we scroll down here, we have user 8 registered with our external email address. Wonderfully, that was number 8. Let's get on to number 9. So bulk users in Office 365 or Microsoft 365, sorry, go to admin.microsoft.com, and for number 9, click on active users and click on add multiple users. We get a little bit of a different interface, and we can go and create our user 9 down here. And our username is user 9, and we're going to use our existing domain. Just like before, we can actually upload a CSV, and we can download the CSV file that includes that example info. And interestingly, it looks a little bit different than the one from the portal. As I said, Microsoft have multiple different ways of doing things, depending on which portal you're actually using. But we can go and click next on that one. We're not going to assign a license to this. We're not going to automatically tick that. Let's go and add that user in. Let's go and close that down. Let's go back to users. Let's go and refresh, and we should find there's user 9. Finally, let's get on to user 10. And the final 10th way in this video that we can create users in Entra ID. So for the final conclusion at number 10, what we need to do is we need to do Active Directory, local Active Directory synchronization to Entra ID. And your mission to see that, guys, if you have got this far, is to pop over to my channel at MWCloud, smack that like and subscribe button, obviously. Go into my videos down here, and there are tons of videos on all sorts of different topics. And what you're looking for is the long and detailed explanation from the AZ104 section. So if we keep going, and what we've got down here is we have Active Directory for AZ104, and we have AzureAD sync down here. Check out this video, and that will explain everything to do with AzureAD sync over a much longer period of time with a lovely demonstration. This was actually filmed before they changed the name from AzureAD to Entra ID, but the concepts are still the same with Active Directory Connect. So I hope you enjoyed those 10 different ways of actually creating users in Entra ID. I know it was quite surprising there was 10. There is more. See how many more you can find. Join me next time. Goodbye. And you know the routine. Hashtag like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoyed this video and will join me next time. Goodbye.